Just Neal and time existing in the matrix. Just Neal existing in the matrix. Good night, guys. Just Neal here, existing in the matrix. And I want to welcome those of you who is the first time you're going to be seeing Just Neal existing in the matrix live. I want to thank you for the time that you will take out to listen to this live. All right, even if it is you cannot listen to the whole live one time, take it in parts, because I do go into a lot of details in these lives. This is where the true core of my page is. You know, I do the workouts and I make my posts, but my real content, my real deep dives are in the lives. So, you know, stay tuned and let's see where it takes us. You know, I invite the spirit just to lead me into the direction that this should go, because I know what I want to bring out. I know what I want to bring forward, but I wanted to bring it in a way that is clear to you, clear to the audience. For those of you who are coming on, I cannot respond to your comments now or for at least the next week because of the restriction that I got yesterday. So you can still comment, ask me questions, and I will answer those questions on the live. All right, I'll do my best to answer those questions for you directly on this live. Daniel Baker, it's nice to have you. All right, I'm so glad you make it to this live. Again, okay, so let's dive in. The topic I have here tonight is your mind is not what you think. All right, let's dive into this. So, the mind. Most persons generally in the public believe that the mind is what you use to think. That your mind is what you use to process. And because you have your mind, it's what makes you you. But I can tell you that your mind is not you. All right? Your mind is not you because you can observe it. And anything that you can observe is not you. You can quote that, caption that, whatever you want. Anything that you can observe is not you. You can observe your body. Your body is not you. You can observe your heart. You can observe your mind. You can observe your thoughts. You can observe your emotions. You can observe how you feel. It is not you. Clee Zell Gray, thank you for being on the live. All right, you guys can just drop a heart, drop a thumbs up if it is you are hearing me, if you're connected. And also, you can let me know where it is you're tuning in from. I got so many new persons joining my page for the last week. And I have not really been able to connect with a lot of you guys. Taron T, welcome to the live. Right, you guys just let me know where it is you're from in the comments. I may see it now, I may see it after, but let me know where you are tuning in from. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the mind is, you're not your mind. You're not your mind because you can observe your mind. Now, your mind does not only consist of your experiences. There are things that your mind will process, understand, and attach itself to that did not come directly from you. That's because your mind has existed long before this version of you is here on the earth. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Your mind is a conglomerate of your ancestral thinking, your family thinking, Georgetown, Guyana. All right, Chazelle Gray. All right. That's awesome. I was telling a business partner that persons in Guyana wanted me to come across there, but we want to get persons who are already active in what we're doing, already building a community across there. If we have a nice little community across in Guyana developing and persons actually engaging with the product, I will definitely be incentivized. The CEO will be incentivized to send me across to Guyana to do some work across there. All right. So yeah, back to the topic. So your mind consists of your ancestral knowledge or information. It consists of your family information. And this does not necessarily have to be that you heard it for it to be a part of you. Your mind is only engaged in the past and in the future. It's it's impossible. I can't say it's difficult. It's impossible for your mind to focus on the now moment. The moment you focus on the present, your mind stops working. It stops functioning. It can no longer function because your mind is a product of your ego. And ego, all right, Michigan, all right, Daniel, great to have you in the life again, man. All right, your ego, person tends to say, oh, you have an ego, oh, you have a big ego. No, the ego is neither big nor small, really and truly, but it's how much you allow yourself to be controlled by it. Is what determines the size, or what persons would say is the size of your ego. But really and truly, your ego is little personalities that you have, the little I's. You say, I am Dad, I am Daniel, I am Clizel, I am Neal, I am Ernest. I'm an athlete, I'm a manager, whatever. Those little I's, those are the personalities, that's your ego. It's a multiple, it's a parts of you that creates your behaviors, your patterns, the mindset that you have. It's the separation. Your ego is a separation from all. It's a separation from the whole. It's a separation from the divine. The part, Cyrus Peel, thank you for being on the live. It's a part of you, the aspect of you that's disconnected from being one. So that's where separation takes place. Right? The moment you move past the ego and you end up in the now moment, the present moment, your mind stops working. It's no longer operating. And then you enter knowing. You leave knowledge and you enter knowing. You enter into a space where you have access to all. Now, this space, it takes time to develop this. It took me from me getting to understand this about 4 years to this point now. I was telling my wife today, and I was like, listen, like one of the hardest things I think I've ever done is not thinking. Not thinking is one of the most challenging things I think you'd ever do in your life. Just until it becomes easy. Because, it's a lot easier now, but it's still challenging to go through a day and to not think about something. To see a car pass, or to see someone speaking, or to even have a conversation, or to engage in an act and eating, cooking, whatever the case may be, and not think about this actually, but just do it. Just be present with it. Just be now. Everything is happening in the moment. And sometimes the mind is so sneaky. It is so elusive that I don't think I am doing justice at this moment, but I'm eventually going to get there in helping you guys understand how much your mind controls what you do. And it's to the point where you actually believe that you are your mind. You actually believe that your mind has an important role to play in what you do on a day-to-day basis. But I can tell you from personal experience, it does not. Your mind does not really have much control over what you do. It does, and at the same time, it does not. In that, if you actually make a decision to take control of your mind, if you can control something, it means that you have to give it control then, if you can also control it. For example, a fire. You can control a fire and you can use it and taper the temperature that the fire is on to achieve a certain goal or outcome. Same way, a fire can be untamed when no one can control it and it causes mass havoc and damage. And exactly. And the truth is, your mind, like Daniel just said, is an unruly beast. So, in the scriptures and in most of the ancient texts where you see persons, guys, welcome to the live. Just let me know where you're from. All right, drop a like, heart, however you feel about the live. Let me know. All right, you can ask your questions concerning anything I say. You can make your comments about what I'm talking about right now, and we can have a nice conversation here about this. Right, cool. So, like Daniel just said, yes, the mind is an unruly beast, and actually, in the scriptures, the Bible, and other texts, ancient texts, where they mention about the beast, it's speaking of the lower nature of man, which is the mind. Your mind is your lower nature. It is your animalistic self. Yeah, like I said, your mind is incapable of perceiving the present moment. It can only focus on either the past or the future. So anytime you are worried, stressed, you are indecisive, anytime that you feel lost, hopeless, any of these things, that is because you are operating from your mind. Freedom exists outside of the mind. The whole purpose of my channel, the whole drive of my business, all of my products and programs that I've developed is to help one free themselves, truly free yourself. Be free to be who you are. And who you are is just pure awareness. You are just pure awareness. You're just aware. But what has happened to us for millions of years as a reason is that we have been so close to the object that we believe that we are it. There are some persons who believe they are their body, but your body dies. Your consciousness still stays. There are some persons who believe that they are their thoughts. No, your thoughts are things. Yes, they are things, but they are simply frequencies. They are forms. They are thought forms. They are entities that exist and they are attached to your mind. Okay, just as an atom binds other atoms and they form different molecules and particles, in the same way, thought forms connect. They are atoms, they are particles that connect, and your mind is a receptor that receive these thought forms. Right? So they exist in a realm. Just like we exist in this three-dimensional realm, your thoughts, they exist in a realm. And as you go through different stages or levels of consciousness, you acquire different level of thoughts. So there may be a point in time that you are in the mass consciousness, where you know generally what everyone knows. You don't know why you know it, you just know it. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, there are certain things you just are aware of and you just know. You know, there's a point in time in our existence, we didn't know what light was in terms of electrical lights. We would use flame, fire, to provide light for us after some time. But now, everyone just expects and knows that there is electricity that you can click and you will get light. All right? A stove. There's a point in time there was not a stove. You would have to build a fire. Now you can just, some stoves you can even just press a button and the stove will light. Or use an outside source and you light the stove. So there's a point in time when there was things that was not known by us, and there's a point in time when the general society and population knew it. Now, there are persons who have gone past this general mind space and they have transcended this into no mind. In no mind, you have access to all mind. All mind is what every single mind is connected to. This all mind that every mind is connected to, it is what we will refer to as God, or what generally persons will refer to as the higher self, the universe, divine consciousness, the Atman, whatever phrase or term in any different religion, sect, cult, whatever it is that they refer to as a higher power, they are referring to the all mind. The thing that knows all, is all, exists in and through all. This consciousness, this raw, unconditioned, is not conditioned. You cannot understand it. I'm talking about this, but it's not something I can explain. It's not something that I can point you to because there's nowhere to point to it. It is everywhere. It is everywhere. It is everything. Everything you can see, observe, interact with, not interact with, engage or not engage with, know or do not know, it is this thing. It is everything. Everything came out of it and everything is going to it. It is the all in all. Nothing can exist outside. It doesn't matter what name you refer to it. The word doesn't matter. It exists in all. You cannot conceptualize it. You cannot perceive it, understand it. Even if it is you get to that space of meditative consciousness or deep awareness, it will still not be observed because it is the ultimate observer. And like I said, anything that can be observed is not you. Think of it like this. You are unable to see the back of your eye. If you're able to roll your eyes back, you would see inside of your head, you would see your brain, your brain stem, your brain electrons, your gray matter and stuff like that. but you still would not see the back of your eye where the actual observation is taking place. What I'm saying is the observer cannot see itself. The observer cannot observe itself. When you get to that place, you feel like if it is you have entered a large, deep vacuum where everything is just. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no here, nor there. It is just. And that place is a very scary place for someone if they ever did the first time. And this is why sometimes people, when they do hallucinogenics, psychedelics, and these kind of stuff, and it pulls them out of their mind. All right, there's mind-altering drugs. So when these drugs pull you out of your mind, you enter into this space, but because your nervous system wasn't prepared for it, because your body wasn't prepared for it, they say persons get a bad trip. You see persons freak out. They get psychosis. Persons end up permanently, irreparably damaged, where it is they may end up in schizophrenia, bipolar. All of these mental illnesses may come up because they got disconnected from their mind in a rapid mode, and they did not train their body or train their mind. Because remember, Daniel said, the mind, the Buddhists refer to this as an untamed beast. And it is. Like I said, it is your lower nature. So when the Bible talks about the beast, the 666, when it talks about the beast that is controlling you, it is talking about your mind, the animal part of your mind. That part that lusts, that part that has hate, that part that desires self. And I'm not talking about self, which is your pure true self. I'm talking about self, which is your ego self, the little personalities. Now, it is said that if it is you know yourself, you know the secrets of the universe. As within, so without. And this is so true because these little personalities, when they come together, they form little clusters, which in essence is like the galaxies or the solar system. They clump together, and the more powerful they are, is the bigger they are in the cluster. And they are competing for your attention, they are competing for your energy, they are competing for your time. And throughout your life, if you look back, you can see them. When you were a teenager, there are certain things you would do, and you really thought this is who you were. You fought for it, you defended it, you got angry when persons attacked you about it, you got jealous, envious. All of these things, all of these emotions are expressions of these personalities that are making you believe this is who you are. Right? It's a persona, it's a mask. It's a mask that you put on and you wear, because if you're being honest, that aspect of you, not everybody knows you as that. That part of you, not everyone sees you that way, right? Because you would act one way around these people in work or in school or at home or in family gatherings, and that's because it's your different mask, your different personas, your different personalities, right, that you are displaying. These are things that you know as the observer, step back, and you allow this to take place. It now becomes the actor on the stage of life. And when you start to get to understand this, you realize that life truly is an illusion. Then you realize that life truly is a game, and then you start to learn how to play the game. Because if it is you understand that your mind is not you, then you can now control and use the mind for what it was meant to do. Because the mind is a tool to be used. Anything that is meant to be used is a tool. Anything that is able to be used is a tool. Anything that is able to be used is a tool. Your mind is a tool, and it is used to help you to pull things from the non-physical to the physical realm by using your thoughts and thought forms. Thought forms are the non-physical entities that physical entities are developed and derived from. Every single thing that you see in physical existence, at some point in time, it was a thought in the mind of man. It was a thought that someone saw, many persons would have seen, but one individual or a few decided to act, to take action. And in taking action, they placed attention on this thought. Placing attention on a thought gives this thought life. It gives it energy, because our awareness is the life energy of thoughts. It's life energy in general. Whatever we observe, whatever we are aware of, we give it life. Nothing can exist outside of your awareness. There is nothing that can exist to you that you are unaware of. It can be a low level of awareness where it's so low that it's basically unconscious to you, and that's your habits, your behaviors, your patterns. A lot of the time we do things. There's many times you might do a blink with your eye, you might do a flick with your nose. You may have a way that you're talking and you may twist your mouth when you talk. It might be a particular side of the bed you get up on, a way that you hold your cup. It might be the way that you tilt your head when you do something. All of those little things are unconscious behaviors of your personality that has been developed over time. And that's because you would have at some point in time paid attention to this. At some point in time, even if it is you were 3, 4, 5, 6, even 1, 2, when at some point in time you would have observed and become aware that I am doing this, until you were unaware that you were doing it. And now it was just who you are. That does not mean it's who you are. That's just the personality that you developed. See, you need to get this. If you want to get free, if you want to be free from your mind, if you want to be free from your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, because these are the things that are controlling your life. These are the things that are dictating the income level that you have. These are the things that are dictating the place that you live. These are the things that are dictating how you feel about yourself. Then you need to understand how powerful awareness is, being aware of something. So you need to start being aware of your thoughts, and this is why meditation is very crucial. How do you start being aware of your thoughts? Focus on something else that's not your thoughts. One of the best things, simplest and easiest things you can do is focus on your breath. If you can focus on the air that is going in and coming out of your nostrils, it's something that is nothing. Your breath is something that is nothing, because your breath happens. If you want to get into the scientific of it, and you can say, well, it is oxygen mingled with nitrogen and hydrogen and all these things going into your body, fine. Truth of the fact is, it's nothing. You can't see air. You can feel it, but it's nothing. It's not a thought. It is just pure life. It's just energy. Your breath is just energy. And that's why you can control your energy by controlling your breath. If it is any form of emotion that you undergo has a particular breath pattern. And the lower you go on your energy scale is the more erratic your breath becomes. The lower you go on the energy scale, meaning anger, jealousy, frustration, eagerness, apathy, fear, all these low vibrating energies, you tend to breathe a lot faster. So when you're angry, you'll be like, when it is you have fear, when someone is frightened, their heart begins to race, so more oxygen is needed, right? And someone who is afraid, they'll be like, they will be super alert, and it will be these short, quick bursts of breath, of air. All right? The more at peace and at calm you are, you take longer, slower breaths. When it is you take, let's say for weed, cannabis, marijuana, when it is that when you ingest cannabis, your breathing slows down significantly, and that's what actually gives you that calm effect. It's not really necessarily the THC in your brain. Yes, that is an aspect, but I've observed this. Again, keyword observe. I've observed this, and if it is, I match and mimic the pattern of breathing that I have when I consume cannabis, allegedly, I get into that same state of awareness. I get into that same state of calm. It takes a bit longer because obviously THC assists and helps in the calming of the brain. But at the same time, the breath can take you to that same place if it is you can match the frequency of the breathing pattern. All right. So the breath, if you are aware of your breath, you can control different states of consciousness and enter into different states of awareness. Does anyone have a question about anything that I said so far? I'm asking this now, but I'm going to see you responding in about the next few minutes if it is you have one. So I'm going to continue talking until I see one pop up if anyone has a question concerning what I've said so far. Or if you want clarification on anything that I have said so far. All right, even for you who are looking at the replay, all right, remember to comment if it is your thoughts on what I will be saying. It doesn't matter if you disagree with what I'm saying. Comment your disagreement. All right. If you have a different point of view or a different view in terms of how you're looking at it, let me know. If it is you have something to add based on your own personal observation, let me know. All right. React how you feel about it. If it is you're upset or annoyed about what I said, put the angry face emoji in the reactions. If it is you feel deeper and impactful by it, put the care emoji. If it is you love it, put the heart emoji. If it's you just like what I say, it's okay. Put a thumbs up. Right? Engage with the live. It helps others. It helps other persons to get to know. It dawned on you it might take. Daniel, expand on that. What does that mean? What do you mean might take? Yes, I would say I'm a general athlete. I did so many sports, honestly speaking. I'm wearing my boxing. This was my fan boxing tee for persons who wanted to support me in my last fight my last major fight I had back in 2017, I think that was. But right now I do rugby and netball as my sports that I do. But what do you mean by your take? Is that the way that I see or talk about stuff? Because that didn't actually come from athletics. That came from the challenges of life. The challenges of life. You see that? You see this what I just did? If you look back at a lot of my videos, and I'm aware of it. I don't know if I want to stop it, or if it's something that I want to keep in my repertoire of my personality. But I observe these little things. This pulling my nose and doing that, I don't know if it recenters me. My nose was itching, but I am not quite sure. I have to observe it some more. Why do I do it? Do I do it out of habit, or do I do it because my nose is actually itching me, and that's why I'm doing it? So instead of me scratching it, I just pull. Well, yes. It did not come from. It did not come from athletics actually, because it's a different aspect of it when you look at it. Breathing as an athlete, getting your breath under control quickly, I just saw it as a form of body control. You're in the ring, you fight for 3 minutes, you have a minute to get your breath under control. You do deep breaths, you hold in, and you just basically go through a process of being able to get your breath under control really quickly. But my breath control and my awareness of my breath in my athletic days were nowhere close to when I actually started to meditate. When I started to meditate, I got to the place where I was, where the breath was almost non-existent. where the breath was almost non-existent, where sometimes you would take a breath and it will seem like half an hour, 30 minutes, and you don't feel like you need to take a next breath because your brain activity has slowed down so much. Your brain is like the number one consumer of oxygen in your body. It consumes the most amount of oxygen. It consumes the most amount of energy from the food that you consume, right? The most amount of cholesterol and fat that you engage and consume, it goes to your brain. So, the fat, when it is you stop eating carbohydrates. If you eat carbohydrates, then after is glucose. Your brain feeds off of your glucose. But when you slow down on glucose, then it starts tapping into ketones, which comes from fat. But the understanding that I had from this really came from observation. Just like how I observed that, it's awareness. It's you getting to know yourself. You getting to truly know who you are. You getting to understand your body. You getting to understand your mind. You getting to understand your emotions. You getting to understand your thoughts, your beliefs. You really taking the time to observe this, not with your eyes, but with your mind's eye, they call it. Not really a mind's eye, it's your spiritual eye, because your mind don't have an eye, your mind has an ego. Or let's just say the ego has a mind. However I want to place, the mind has an ego, yeah. The mind has an ego, because the ego is an entity born out of the mind. Right? The ego is an entity born out of the mind. A lot of these things are entities. They are literal entities, not in the way that we would think. They don't have any shape or form. They're just energy. An entity is just an energy pattern, an energy form, and that energy form takes shape based on however your mind would perceive it. So sometimes persons over the years, you see images and drawings of particular entities, and people say this is how this thing look. That's how they saw it. And most persons, because they heard of it, then they would then see this image of this entity the same way. All right, so a lot of different psychoanalysts and psychotic substances, they have their own image that persons would see when they go into that space of inducement. Even in terms of your emotions, all of your emotions, they have a particular shape or form that they would take on. If you see them in dreams, all right, there are certain objects and shapes that represent certain types of emotions. Even plants, yes, there's a physical plant, but then after there's an entity that actually operates behind these plants that has its own form. I don't touch into these things because I have not personally experienced them. This is just, so I have to put a disclaimer on this one here. I like the ones that I like to speak on experience that I have on my lives, but I would touch on sometimes things that I would have consistently heard from practitioners further along the path than I am. Right? Because this is a path. You can decide to start a path, but once you start a path, you would stay on the path. You would continue developing in consciousness. You would continue developing in awareness. You would continue moving towards more and more freedom. And as you start doing that, the change and shackles that your mind have on you, first the societal mind will drop. That's the part of you, the part of your mind that holds on to what society taught and what society believes is true. And once you get past that, you'll realize, wait, a lot of this is nonsense, what they believe. A lot of this is not true. A lot of this is sleeping. A lot of this is sheep mentality. A lot of this is following mentality. You're just following the masses. You're not actually thinking. So you're not even thinking in this state when you're in a societal mindset. You're literally just following. You think you're thinking, but you're not even thinking. It's kind of like you having a dream and you're not in control of the dream and it's just happening around you. That's like how some persons, the majority of persons are in the world right now. But the beautiful thing about it, what I've been observing, especially within the last year, is a lot more persons are starting to question things. And this is because of the planetary energy. The frequency of the planet is reason. And if the planet is vibrating at a higher frequency, it means that your brain, your heart, your blood cells, every aspect of you would be vibrating at a different frequency. It's like water in a tub. If it is you knock the tub, all of the water in the tub is going to vibrate at the same frequency as the knock that is hitting on the tub. In the same way, because we are surrounded by water, the vibration of the planet has rapidly increased within the last year to two, and everyone is feeling it. A lot of persons, you may feel that's tiredness, you may feel that's weight on your shoulder, you may feel that's uncomfortableness in areas that you were comfortable before, you may feel it as unclarity in certain situations. There's a lot of different ways it would show up, but the planet energy is rising, and a lot more persons are showing evidence that you are questioning these beliefs that we have held on for so long. They are questioning the things that they thought was true because they are seeing holes in it, they're seeing the gaps, and they're realizing that, wait, I'm doing this and I'm not getting any results. My life is looking worse and worse. And you're going to be brought back to the place of realizing that there's neither good nor bad. You're going to come back to that tree. You're going to come back to that tree that is spoken of in so many texts, particularly in the Bible, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You're going to come back to that tree, and you're going to have to make the decision again. Do I want to continue consuming this fruit? Do I want to continue consuming the fruit of good and evil? Do I want to continue knowing what good and evil is? You see, the moment you stop consuming that fruit, you are free from your mind. Because only the mind knows what good and evil is. You, awareness. Awareness does not know. If you are just observing cars passing, you don't care if the car is expensive or not. You don't care if the car is black or blue or red. You don't care if the car is working good or not working good, because all you are doing is watching the cars go by. You're just observing the cars. All right, you're just aware that cars are passing you. In the same way, when it is you truly escape from the thoughts of good and evil, the awareness of what good and evil is, you have now returned back to your original state of awareness and consciousness. And that, my friends, is a very long journey. Because every time I think that, oh, I have escaped this, I see myself react. Your reaction to things is a strong indicator as to where you still have blockages, limiting beliefs, where it is you still have pain points that needs to be let go, that needs to be observed, understood, appreciated, loved, and dissolved. These things are also entities that are feeding off of your energy. They are feeding off of your energy. Sometimes you see that you're tired, you're eating healthy, you're exercising, you're getting good sleep, but you are tired and you're exhausted because these entities, these pain points, these pain bodies, these limiting beliefs, these fragmented mindsets, they are feeding off of your energy. And they survive because you keep on holding on to them. But the moment you appreciate, love, and thank it for what it has done in your life, and you let it go, you would not receive back that energy. You would sever that energetic tie, that energetic cord that is connecting you to this entity, and it's no longer feeding off of you. Again, an entity can be anything that can utilize your energy to survive. There are a lot of things that you believe and that you hold on to and that you worship and that you think is good for you, that it is not, and it is feeding off of your energy to survive. All right, guys, I've already gone 38 minutes. I am going to close off the live. I'm going to come bring it down to an end here. All right, there's a lot more to be tired and said about this. And I'm going to try to see if I can bring more structure to it in terms of probably going into different aspects, specific parts. For those of you who would listen over this live, and for those of you who are on here right now, I have an exclusive coming up on the Kenroy Baptiste Live this Sunday. All right. It is at 3. I believe it starts at 3 and it goes to 5. It's a 2-hour exclusive. I'm going to be talking about 2026 and why I'm going to go live. All right. So I'm going to be in the studio, but I'm going to go live in the studio. All right. Look out for the event. I'm going to post the event. You can show your interest in the event, set a reminder for the event so you can be there on Sunday evening. Well, that's Sunday evening my time. So this is Atlantic Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. All right, so you can use that to kind of gauge from where you are located. So Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m., Atlantic Standard Time, 3 p.m. And I'm going to be touching on 2026 and why it is a year that is truly meant for you to be yourself. All right, again, that's Ken Roy Baptiste live on Sunday. I'm going to put the event out. You guys can attach interest to the event, share the event to persons. Ken Roy told me I can do this because we believe that a lot more persons need to know how do you truly be yourself. A lot of persons here, be yourself, be you, be free. And the thing is, so many persons have been bounded for so long. So many persons have been trapped for so long that they don't even know what freedom is. They don't even know how to be free. It's like a slave that has been a slave to a master for many years, and then he got his freedom. And then he doesn't know what to do. So what he does, he goes back to the master and says, listen, take me back. I do not know how to survive in this world as a free man. And there are a lot of persons that they have the potential, they have the avenue. And I can't say about everybody. I'm saying a lot of persons, but the truth is, everyone has free will. Everyone is free indeed. You are already free. You simply believe that you need to do the things that you're doing, and this is what traps you into your whatever space or sector or whatever you're in. That you feel that you can't survive if it is this leaves you. Oh my God, I can't survive if it is I lose my job. I can't. How much times you would have lost a job or that you would have been out of a job and you're still here? How much times that person left you? Oh my God, if this person leaves me, I go die. And some that people that leaves you and you are still here. Oh my God, if I don't eat this particular thing, I wouldn't survive. And you are still here. The truth is, you do not need anything to survive. You do not need anything to be any more than who you are. You were already completely you before you spent a day on this earth, and you will continue to be completely you after you leave this earth, because you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your feelings, you are not your people that are around you. You are awareness. You are observing what is taking place, and sometimes you get so close that you believe that you are the things that you are observing, but you are not. Okay, so guys, thank you for your time, Daniel, bro. You're a champion. You have been there from the beginning of the live. I really appreciate it. Guys, share the live. Share the live so that other persons, people ask me, I'm glad that I'm receiving information from your live. I've been getting messages from persons saying that they came on to my page for the first time they came across it, and they're really impressed and they're excited about the information I'm sharing. They're happy to know that I'm doing what I'm doing, which is helping persons to free their consciousness, free their mind, expand it, to live a more free and abundant life. The best way that you can do to support is to share the live. The more you share the live, the more Facebook would know that, hey, this is content that others should be seeing. All right, so share the live, guys. Share it to your story, share it to your page. All right, comment, let persons know what you thought about the live. Put your thoughts on top of the live when you share it. Put your thoughts into the comments of the live. Let me know what you think about what it is you heard. All right, guys. Remember, it's a chant. You could always say, you can tag it. Strong minds, stronger hearts. That's my tag. Making freedom possible. That's my slogan. You can tag those two things. Strong minds, stronger hearts. Making freedom possible. You can put hashtag just Neal, because that's what we're here to do. All right, it's just Neal here to help you to build strong minds, stronger hearts, and to make freedom possible. Guys, I'm going to see you on the next live.